Hey everyone, this is Scott. So I'm just recording an update for the GoFundMe fundraiser. I can't thank you all enough for all the generous donations. All this money has kept it so I haven't been stressed about rent or anything for months. This is amazing. Thank you all so much. My friend Hillary is going to continue updating the campaign here and there, and I can't thank her enough for organizing all this. In case you haven't found out, or in case you haven't heard at all, I did get COVID on July 19th, as we all know, and I was actually dying that day. When I went to the emergency room, all my vision was just a blackish red tunnel, and I couldn't breathe, and that's hypoxia. I was actually dying. Like when I went to the emergency room, I was very close to death. They intubated me after only 6 hours. If I didn't go on that day, I would have died that night from the stroke, which happened while I was intubated, and everything. And it's wild. So I'm in a really good space right now. The first hospital I was at, Bergen Mercy Lakeside here in Omaha, I laid in a hospital bed for a month and a half because my insurance took a whole month to approve a transfer to Emmanuel Rehabilitation Hospital, which is an acute treatment facility for stroke victims and spinal injuries and other stuff. That place was fantastic. I made so much progress there. I was there for a month, and I just moved here to QLI Omaha, which is one of the best stroke treatment centers in the country, and they treat strokes and spinal cord incidents, missing limbs, and traumatic brain injuries. It's incredible here. This place is exactly like a college campus. You can see right here, this is my room, my Golden Girls shirt. It's basically a studio apartment, but QLI is basically an assisted living facility, and I still get oxygen at night due to some of the damage on my lungs, and it helps me breathe, and it helps fight my sleep apnea. As you can hear, my voice is a little hoarse. And if you haven't heard, we're not sure if the intubation damaged my vocal cords, because apparently that's rather common with COVID patients. When they take out the intubation, when they put it in, it's been nicking people's vocal cords and giving them raspy, sexy horse voices like mine. Psst. So we're working on that. There's going to be an ENT specialist coming in over the next few weeks. They're going to put a camera up my nose and down my throat to see what's up with my vocal cords. And there's a lot of neurological, I'm going through testing and pretty grueling assessments here and neuropsychological evaluations. There's a lot of neurological damage, like brain damage from the stroke. So I'm probably going to be on disability for a while. I'm okay with all that. I am currently walking again. I started walking at Emmanuel. I'm using a cane, which is okay. I'd much rather be walking because I haven't had much luck with wheelchairs. I don't know. I just can't seem to grasp the mechanics of it all, and it's just very difficult for me and frustrating. I know that they're wonder devices for the people that can use them and need them, but there's a lot of visual spatial issues that are coming up, which are including my left avoidance or left hemisphere inattention, which is some of the stroke was up at this part of my brain. It was an upper right MCA occlusion, main cerebral artery, and I had a subarachnoid hemorrhage. If you want to read some horror reading for Spooky Month, read about subarachnoid hemorrhage. That's what happened to me after my stroke, and that's what would have killed me if I wasn't in the emergency room that night. And I love that they're going to start hooking me up with a psychologist here and to do mental health therapy, because I get about 3 to 6 hours a day here, and it's very intense and amazing, and it's a structured environment, and it's all you're surrounded by skilled nurses and have easy access to doctors and specialists, and it's amazing. I can't say that enough. I'm thriving here. It's working really well with my depression and my executive function disorders. This is amazing. It's basically like a dorm. I get my own private room. It's the size of a very modest studio. And I like it. And I share the house with about 8 or 9 other dudes, and they're all really cool. This house is jokingly called the Bachelor Pad because it's a male only house, and everyone's really cool. I've made a couple friends. One guy gave me a Diet Mountain Dew. Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. What a lovely, blessed gift. There's a coffee shop and a library here that I'm haunting. I'm spending a lot of time in the library because I love it. and the coffee shop is amazing, and we're eating a lot of foods that increase neuroplasticity, because that's what you've got to do after a traumatic brain injury like a stroke. You've got to do neuroplasticity through repetition, because it gets your brain relearning and reattaching connections. So unfortunately, my left side is still pretty flaccid. I have a lot of very greatly reduced feeling in my left leg, and my left arm and hands still mostly don't work. My left arm can sometimes lift a little bit. My hand is still asleep, although I've been having. So this is really interesting. One of my therapists is encouraging me to write my memoirs of COVID, of going through COVID, and I'm going to work on that, and it's going to be funny and really and really therapeutic to write. I can't wait. I've been meeting new people, and it's interesting being social. This place is still pretty much locked down like it's early 2020 again, because with the medically fragile people here, they would not fare well with COVID, a COVID breakout on campus. Like, everyone must be vaccinated, and you still wear masks. Even where we're sitting in the dining area, they make us sit 6 feet apart. And some of us have been getting COVID tests every day for the last 3 days, which it's not bad. And it's not the ones that go back in all the way back in your nose. That one, they just put a Q-tip basically up your nose and rub and wipe it around and pull all your boogers out. It's gross. So I really hope you're all being safe, and I hope this virus stays away from you and your loved ones. It's terrible. It's worse than you can imagine. It's even worse than anything in the news. It's so bad. Like, I had the stroke when I was intubated, thankfully. I couldn't imagine going through all that awake. And one of the things that happened is I got several I'll be on blood thinners for several months. But I had blood clotting issues. They just had to up my blood thinner dosage in one of my meds, because even 3 months after I've been cleared of COVID, like I've defeated COVID and I didn't have it in my body. After mid-August, an infectious disease doctor came and said, "Just want to let you know you don't have any COVID anymore. It wasn't in my blood." But even 3 months after having COVID, my blood is still clotting too fast. So they had to increase one of my blood thinner dosages. That's wild. Just keep away from this disease, and start wearing glasses or goggles if you have to, because the doctor told me that's probably how it got at me. Besides having a genetic anomaly that made me less resistant to Delta COVID, even though I was fully vaccinated and masking, when I went to the laundromat, where I almost certainly got COVID, because I got sick 3 days to the hour after that laundromat. I should have left when I saw it was full of kids. My stomach was like, "Get the fuck out of here," and I didn't listen. I was like, "No, I want clean sheets," and they definitely weren't worth COVID or stroke. Because you can't imagine, like, you can read all you want about strokes, but actually going through it is wildly different than anything you can imagine. It's so wild. Like, the neuropathy for me was off the charts. My pain, it's not pain, but it feels close to pain. Mine was like 9 or 10 for like 2 weeks, and I could not talk for a couple weeks after my stroke, and after I was extubated. I had like severe. My tongue was like unable to move. I had a lot of left side issues. It would get stuck between my teeth, and I'd be like this. And then one night I was really mad, and I was going off about how mad I was that they wouldn't give me a Diet Coke to drink. Even though I could smell someone in the room had it, I could smell the Diet Coke. I was so mad, I was just like talking to myself, and I taught myself to enunciate and put my tongue in my mouth correctly. I still bite it way too much. It's frustrating, because this left side inattention it's called left avoidance. There's a more technical name. I think it's like hemiparietal hymenoptera or something. It's a lot of H's and OP's and stuff. It's weird, but so I just want to thank my friend Hillary for maintaining this. I have a funny wish for her. Because of everything she's done for me. It's made my quality of life so much better, and getting me on Marco Polo is really great, and it allows me to keep touch with people, because typing is still very hard, as anyone who's on my Facebook can attest, because the left attention is very frustrating, and I don't see the left side of sentences, the left side of words, and the left side of images. It's not that they're not there, and I'm not blind. My brain refuses to see it. The entire opposite side of where my stroke was, right up above my right eye. This is where the stroke was, like up here, and the exact opposite side. The brain has, that's where the brain, there's a lot of damage down there, and my brain just edits out objects. It just refuses to see them, and like I'll be by a wall, and it's really dangerous for walking. I'm so glad I'm in this area, because I would definitely step out into traffic and get creamed by a vehicle, because I wouldn't even see the cars coming from my left till they beeped, and then they'd beep and I wouldn't see them, and there's no guarantee if I turned and faced them that I would, because my brain would just edit them out. There was a physical therapy session I was in, and they put cones on the floor, and all I saw was the empty floor. My brain refused to see the cones. I could only see their shadows on the ground. It's the weirdest crap. The brain is just a sack of lies. For you, but the wish for you is basically just have years of excruciatingly good sex and authentic, loving, supportive relationships. Anyway, I hope you're all staying safe. And I hope COVID stays far away from you and your loved ones. It's evil. It needs to devolve itself back into slime ASAP. Thanks everybody, and thanks again for your help. I'm going to pay this forward for the rest of my life. Bye.